It's Mental Health Awareness Week. I'm Natasha Welfare, and this is a short video about codependency. So what is codependency? Well, a codependent person will organise their whole lives around somebody else. It almost feels a bit like they're allowing themselves to be taken over. They're willingly allowing themselves to be taken over. The other person is often a romantic partner, but it can also be a family member and it can be a friend. And when the person is codependent, they're denying their own wants, their own needs, and their own feelings. And their whole sense of self-worth is attached to somebody else. So codependency sounds like it's a relationship issue, but actually the central issue in codependency is the relationship that you have with yourself. And we're going to come on to talk about this a little bit later. One of the things that we can do to heal from codependency is to rediscover ourselves in a way. And as we rediscover ourselves, then our relationships will improve, our relationships will change. So what do you need to look out for, in order to figure out whether this is an issue that you might need some support with? If all of your happiness and all of your satisfaction and your sense of purpose in life, comes from doing stuff for this one other person, then that's absolutely something to be looking out for. Do you have what we call in transactional analysis a please others driver? Where, you're sort of spending so much of your energy pleasing this other person and almost saying to yourself, I'm only okay as long as I'm pleasing you. There's a real sense of self-sacrifice here, a really unhealthy level of self-sacrifice. Do you stay in relationships even when they become harmful? Deep down inside that they're harmful, and yet you stay. It's something to be really mindful of. Do you struggle with anxiety in relationship to this relationship? Is the relationship sort of so important to you, that actually you're completely anxious about it all of the time? If there's an issue, with the other person, then that becomes such a big issue for you. And are you feeling guilty? Guilty about having your own needs, having your own thoughts, having your own, opinions? Does that feel like it's selfish to you? So how do we work with codependency in therapy? What can we do to kind of form a healthier relationship with ourselves in order that we can then have a healthier relationship with other people? One of the first things that we need to do is we need to sort of agree that this is an issue, and we need to do this really gently. This isn't about labeling or pathologizing or the therapist telling you that there's something wrong with you. I have mixed feelings about the term codependency, as a word. I don't think it's particularly helpful, but, we need to contract. This is good ethical work. Do we agree that this is an issue? Is this something that you would, like to work on in therapy? And next comes the real bulk of the work, if you like. You need to rediscover yourself. Who are you? What do you enjoy doing? Who are your friends? You need to get back in touch with your feelings. What do you feel separate from this other person? And often that process will involve getting in touch with your own anger. If there are feelings that have been, buried away underneath the carpet, we need to, get back in touch with those as part of the therapeutic process. There's a lot of work that takes place here outside of therapy, and we would probably be working on a plan for, for what you might be doing differently in between the sessions. So we're building up a life that is not just centered around this one other person. And then lastly, we can look at developing healthier ways of relating. And this is a bit like relearning how to be in relationship, and boundaries is really, really, important here. You're going to be relearning how to set healthier boundaries in relationships. So by way of summary, codependency is, it's not about not being in relationship. It's not about not helping and not supporting, but it's about not losing sense of ourself. So we want to be in touch with ourselves in order that we can then have a healthy relationship. So I hope some of that was useful, and do get in touch if you need any further information on codependency.